You're tuned to the studios of Eagles 102.3 FM, and this is the time where we get into the program It Concern Me radio drama and program brought to you by Media Coalition to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT. And we continue with the radio drama for today.
My people, we don't jam again. Let me continue, sharp sharp before time go waka. As I was in the hotel room with my friend Smooth, and then, after a long stare, he said, Chris Baba, your babe will be doing prostitution. What? I shouted. What the heck are you talking about, guy? What are you talking about? How now? Smooth cuts in. Look, you want to be rich or not? I replied. At the expense of my loveling? At the expense of my loveling's life? Do you know what that means? It's like I have finished her life. See money. Hey, see money. I couldn't take my eyes off it, but I was trying to contain myself. I asked him what this whole thing is all about. He said, that is my payment. But I need to make sure all that needs to be done is done. Then I can get paid. One name, my brothers and sisters. I couldn't help to sleep that night. I couldn't. I was in a state of confusion. But my loveling, what has she done to deserve this? Why, Chris? Why? At the same time, this money can be my new identity, my new status. What do I do? I was torn in between telling her the truth and just letting things happen. If this journey fails, her father and mother will hate me for life for raising the hopes of their daughter. As I thought about it, Smooth messaged me to send all her details for processing. With mixed emotions, I sent it. For days, I refused to see her. How? How can I face her knowing that what I have done is wrong? The day reached. I took her to the airport. Smooth was there with some other ladies. I hugged her so tight. We both wept a little, and then I went to visit Loveling's parents. As their daughter launched me into this high life, make I settle them small. They thanked me and praised me. As a matter of fact, it was as if they were worshipping me. Deep inside, it pained me. But I was like, Loveling is a strong girl. She will survive. Please, don't hate me. Na life kosa. I will tell you what happened after, but now I need to rest.
Give us. So we will talk all about that today on the program, and we have a guest that will be joining us. And as soon as she joins us, we will get to talk about this particular topic today. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon.
All
Oh,
right.
it's morning here, so it's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so to our listener, we are talking with Sa'adatu Adamu. She's the founder Secure the Future Initiative and the vice president of Counselor Association of Nigeria. And so glad to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we are looking at the need for mental health support for victims of trafficking. Now, in the first place, before we look at the issue of mental health support, if we pick a victim of trafficking, apart from possibly physical wounds that we might see or physical evidences that they have been, they've gone through a lot, are there things that happen to them mentally as well?
Yes. So first of all, let's even establish maybe undergoes some kind of mental torture. it has a way of just you know coming back to play a major role in their lives. So yeah, victims go through a lot. Um, Apart from the physical, like you said, they go through emotional torture, right? So that gets them to um, sometimes substance abuse, all right? Sometimes they run into mental disability. Sometimes, I mean, they struggle with PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. In fact, some of them even get to that stage where it's complex PTSD. So they struggle with, mental health issues a lot. Um, an example of PTSD that they usually struggle with is maybe avoidance. You
Hmm.
just okay. So first thing is to identify what trafficking is, right?
Yes.
So an individual or is being either harbored in a particular place, it's been sold to something to someone else, it's been coerced, it's been forced to go or practice prostitution, it's been forced to do a lot, slavery, forced labor. So that's what that human being is being forced to do. Now remember, that's not the pattern or the lifestyle of that individual.
Hmm.
Something has changed.
That's right.
Okay, so if something has changed, then obviously that person is in a state of confusion. Why am I here? What am I doing? What has happened? You also be one of the traffickers, because that's what has happened to them. Someone very close to them was the person who did what, you know, trafficked them.
Mm.
So anybody around, they are afraid, and so that automatically change how the brain works. Okay,
Mm.
so the brain begins to now feel like everyone is a suspect. The brain begins to feel like we can't even trust the words that people say. The brain begins to feel like even if you come around and truly you want to help, am I sure that person is also not trying to sell me off? Remember that sometimes they get people that they sell them to like different people. So if another person comes genuinely and wants to help, the first thing they think about is, could it be that I'm also going to another place again?
Hmm.
How can I trust people? So a lot happened. This has happened to. Am I different from every other person? Is it that God didn't see me? How come He didn't see? So a lot is running through their mind. So truly, they are distorted mentally.
Mm. Now, it's really sad that we have people going through all of this. Now, how do we begin to get them out of a situation like that? It means there's a whole lot mentally that has been thwarted. So, how do we
Yeah.
begin to get them to get out of that thought, looking at the need for health support for them, mental health support?
Okay. So it's very important that you know, um, maybe organizations understand the importance of psychosocial support. You can't really help a victim without understanding that they have been traumatized. Like I mentioned, PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, or even complex.
Mm.
So some even go to the extreme where, it's really severe. And that's why I'm using the word complex. Accept, all right?
Mm.
Now they can internalize their story, all right, and then tell it, okay, because the best the best thing you can do to um, a survivor is help that person understand that this has happened already,
Mm.
okay. So now we are going to be looking at the internal things that you've put in. Like I said, the brain has changed a lot of things.
Mm.
So it means that there are some internal things that the person has saved, which is the trust, loneliness, oh no, isolation, getting addicted to drugs and all of that. So there are internal things that a counselor needs to begin to sees that first before even looking at all other things. That is very important because that the internal stuff play a huge role in on the physical.
That's right.
Internally you're thinking, not even beautiful, I've been battered, I've
Mm.
had, thousands of men around me. I mean, this is what they see about me. This is what is written on my forehead. That's internal now, speaking to them. So it's important to help them sieve out and then have new things poured out into their system so that they can now, at least feel a little better and can easily get back into the society
Now,
without thinking stigma.
so let's look at going.
Do anything they use it. So I mean, the best thing I can do is take drugs and I feel better. So there are so many things that the risk, of even having more people now trafficking is another major risk, because if someone hasn't healed, most times they want to pay back,
Mm.
resentment. Okay, and then again, if someone hasn't healed, okay, he's struggling with now spiritual aspects. You're looking at, all of this has happened to me. Can I even really trust any God? To be honest with you, I will sell as many girls as I can, in her words.
Wow.
So you see, this was when I met her. So that she had that, she was still angry, and wanted to just do the same that was done to her. So it's important to really see mental health support as a key, because we're just going to be reducing the number of trafficking. We're also going to be reducing the number of people that are very angry. We're also going to have people that would tell their story, have their voices out there so they can support others.
Mm.
Remember that it's not just to tell the story, but also to give an individual a voice. There's
That's
so
it.
many people that are struggling with, I cannot tell my story, or I can't even come out, or I've been stigmatized. So it's important to look at that aspect so that we don't have, a number of people that will just not be too good for the
Okay.
world.
All right. So let's just take a pause there. You're still situation.
Okay, so I want to assume that if we have a therapist, caregiver who is supporting a victim, I expect that there are certain things that a professional should know. And one is to um, be sure that you have realistic expectations for your clients. Okay?
Hmm.
This is someone who has struggled. So you don't come with unrealistic expectations. When I say unrealistic expectations, expecting that your client is okay and can have conversations with people, to have expected realistic expected expectations